Look at Lair with some exclusive footage. Let the drooling commence.
We focus a lot for Lair really on creating a background universe which would set us up in a way that the story would flow naturally from it. So we knew that we wanted to hit on current themes a little bit. Global warming was flowing into it, and then the war in Iraq a little bit, and past wars. So we wanted to make it relevant and current because going to fantasy, not only did we want to have a difference in terms of the visuals and invent our own visual fantasy world, but we also wanted to have it much more correlating to current events than I think what other games have tried before. The game starts very traditionally as a shooter, where basically you take off, the city is being attacked. You cannot land anywhere there, but nevertheless you fly out there and you blow things up. So it's very much around the traditional fire attacks which you would expect a dragon to have. You've got fire breath, which is actually sticky, so one of the things, the physics on the PS3 make possible that the fire sticks to things and then actually spreads. You've got fireballs which you can shoot out, and you start out with that, but then once you get into the first dragon fight, you already can make a choice because there's a bunch of dragons appearing and they're very small dragons, so you can either take them out with fireballs, which probably the beginner player will do, or you quickly lock onto them or highlight them only, and then you hit the circle button, and with that you actually do a physical attack. Then we really built on the physical systems where you can strike into somebody, then we go into matrix mode. You can use that slowdown really to jump onto others, so you can daisy chain them one after the other. You can actually fly close up to dragons, you lock on to them, and you basically come right up to them. You use the gestures of the 6-axis to actually ram into them. And what you've probably also seen is the grapple fighting mode, where basically you grapple onto the other dragon, both of you fall out of the sky, while you do a very traditional fighting game in mid-air, where you can also unlock combos later in the game for. The dragon design right from the get-go was something which we took very, very serious, because we knew that on the one hand the dragons needed to be believable. Now if you've got a heavy creature with these huge wingspans, then it is quickly believable, but you have a real problem in terms of gameplay because the wings are covering up quite a bit of the screen. So we had this constant balance going on between the design of the dragons and the gameplay elements of the dragons, where we couldn't slip into the goofy because we wanted to stay as photorealistic and as fantastic as possible. So all of these elements really flowed into the dragon design, and I think we achieved something hopefully very, very unique in it. The very basic fact is that you couldn't do this engine completely as you see it there on any other system than the PS3. We've got so much physics running, we've got so many animations running. We've got levels of 25,000 with 25,000 soldiers in there, where we have to simulate the army combat which is going on the ground. We've got all of these dragons being animated, of course. So I think to pull off this world scale, where basically you can go from the macro 20,000 feet level in utter detail into basically character mode detail, I think that would have been absolutely impossible on any other platform, let alone the previous generation. The game's coming out in July, and I think people should really, really look for it, because I'm hoping at least that we're giving the whole PS3 experience. We're having the 6-axis experience in there for the flight controls, for the gestures, but we're also supporting the traditional controls. We're really giving you the whole breadth of what the PS3 controller can offer. We're offering the 1080p, we're offering uncompressed 7.1 sound. We're really giving you the whole package, which should justify in a very fresh manner, in a new genre, fight and flight and flight and fight. Has never been there before, and it hopefully will be one of the really refreshing titles on the PS3, which gives people a sense why actually they're investing in the system.
Tired of your Nintendo Wii looking like something from Apple's lineup? IGN Gear Editor-in-Chief Jerry Block gives us the pros and cons on the new XCM iCase Wii.
The replacement Wii case that we're going to be using comes from XCM. It's known as the iCase Wii and is currently available in chrome and black. It costs about $50, and the kit includes all the various external faceplates as well as replacement buttons and things like that. It also includes the two most critical tools you'll require: a Phillips head screwdriver, pretty small size, and a tri-wing screwdriver, which is what Nintendo uses for all of their proprietary screws. It's also useful to have some needle nose pliers and a sharp knife for removing the little rubber feet. The disassembly process isn't that difficult, but the key issue is keeping everything organized. The Wii case throughout uses a variety of different screws of different lengths and different thicknesses that can really become confusing if you let the screws get mixed up. It's a good idea to come up with a good map so that you can keep track of where all the screws came from. As you can see, we lay ours out in a pretty orderly manner that makes reassembly a lot easier. The first step in stripping down the Wii is to remove the top doors that cover the GameCube controller inputs. Once those are removed, you can unscrew the little screws and remove the black plate, unscrew those 4 screws below, and then flip the console on its side. After removing the battery door and the screw next to it, peel the tabs back where the rubber feet are seated in the bottom of the Wii. Then flip the Wii completely on its side and undo the screws that rest beneath the 4 rubber side feet. After that, the faceplate will become loose and will probably just pop off on its own. Be careful about the wire that connects the faceplate apparatus to the Wii. Don't jerk it or else you might actually break the Wii. After you've taken off half of the shell, you'll see the CD drive assembly screwed onto the motherboard. Undo each of the 4 screws at the corners of the CD drive and it will lift off. Probably the most tricky issue in this entire process is being careful of the ribbon wires that connect the CD drive to the rest of the Wii. There are 2 of them. One is power and one is data. The power one's pretty sturdy and easy to remove, but the data one is particularly tricky. If you break the connections on either side, you'll have a dead Wii. So be very gentle when you flip open the little brown tab that keeps the wire connected. Follow a simple process of unscrewing all the screws surrounding the perimeter of the Wii, and also remove the black plastic fan assembly and heat shielding. That will keep the whole thing secure. Once you've stripped down all those layers, you'll be presented with the motherboard. The 4 screws that connect the motherboard to the actual console are the 4 screws surrounding the heatsink for the CPU. Loosen those up, lift it off, and you will have a completely disassembled Wii. The process of reassembling the Wii is not that much more difficult than taking it apart. So long as you kept things organized, it should be a pretty simple process of re-screwing things into the new Wii case. Take care when you reseat the CD drive. You want to be sure that those connections with the ribbon wires are totally secure, and also fold those wires carefully so they aren't crimped when you screw everything back down. After you've got the Wii mostly reassembled on the bottom side of its case, the last real step is transferring the parts from the old faceplate to the new one. You undo a few screws and transfer over the LED and eject button apparatus, strap it into the new faceplate, reattach in the backwards process as the way that you undid it originally, and you should have it pretty well set up. Once you've got the Wii almost completely assembled, before the faceplate is entirely attached, it might be smart to test it to make sure that you haven't messed anything up. If the Wii doesn't start, you're going to have to take it all apart again and try to figure out what you did wrong. If it starts up properly, reapply all the screws, put in the new feet, which are included in the package, box it up, and you will have yourself a brand spanking and oh so individualized Wii. The envy of all your friends.
That's it for today's show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As usual, don't forget to send comments and suggestions to weekly@ign.com, and also don't forget to check out the boards and the blogs. Until next time, see ya!